Hi, this is Jessica Frost from Rise, Vermont with your yoga pose of the week. Today we're going to do a classic pose, downward facing dog. You'll see it in a huge variety of yoga classes. So there's a couple ways to think about downward dog. The first thing I want to think about is our placement of the hands on the mat. So when we put our hands on the mat, we always want our fingers to be spread. We also want to be pressing the whole palm down. We never want to be just on our fingertips, because that can put a lot of strain on the hands. The other thing to think about is stacking our joints. So if we bring our hands right in front of us, we're going to see our wrist in line with our shoulder. Sometimes when we go on the mat, we have a tendency to walk our hands out, but then we're compromising that shoulder. We're relying a lot more on the muscle rather than stacking the joint and making ourselves more prone to injury. So always trying to think about stack the joints, strong base with the hands. The last thing to think about is our spine. So like in all yoga poses, we want our spine to be long and tall. So when we come into downward dog, sometimes we end up rounding our back, and that might be because our lower back is tight. So one way to modify for that is to put bend in our knees, and we'll be able to lengthen our spine more. And the final thing to think about, which I will demonstrate in a moment, is the placement of our hands from our feet. So when we're in downward dog, we want to be able to shift into a plank pose without adjusting our hands or our feet. So it'll be a good guideline for you to know if you are the right distance. So let's start. So we're gonna find that long back, make our necks long, roll our shoulders back and down. So that's the same feeling we want in our back when we go down to the mat. So let's bring our hands down to the mat, fingers spread. So we're moving into an upside down V. So to demonstrate, if my back was feeling tight today, I can bend my knees. It's more important to have the flat, long back than the straight legs. Always protecting the back. We never want to do anything that might injure our back. So if you see, I'm going to shift into plank, and I don't have to move anything at all, and I'm still keeping that shoulder right over the wrist, stacking the joints. Sometimes you'll see people in more like this sort of pose, just bent over but a little bit further out, but then when they go forward, they're going to fall unless they walk their hands. So that's our downward dog. Thank you. Have a great day.